Give it up. Hello? You there, dude?
Yeah. Can you hear me or no?
Yeah, I can hear you. I just can't see you. It's kind of weird. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was because I hadn't like closed out the dialog box or something. I don't know.
Okay.
That's pissed me off.
Hey, Jeff. Hey, man. I have to send you a link to invite you into this little sesh. Okay. Can be recorded and put on YouTube.
Okay, cool. I've got it pulled up. Yeah.
Okay.
What's up?
Hey, Fergus. How's it going?
Hey, pretty good. How you doing?
Good. I'm doing well. I'm trying
Hey,
to.
Fergus, what did you have to do to get your camera going?
I had to do all the like consent things for. That's what was blocking me.
Okay.
Give me 1 second. I'm gonna try to figure this out for myself.
Yeah, no. It's saying the same thing
Cool.
for me when I'm trying to use my integrated webcam. It's like talking about
on my webcam. There's a bar near the top, and it says "Turn camera off." Hey.
It was me.
Oh, sorry.
Like, God, you're such a goober.
I thought you were waving at me.
No.
There should be a button that says "Turn camera on" or "Turn camera off."
on your webcam itself. You're saying that's happening?
No. On the settings bar in Hangout on this.
Yeah, it automatically has your camera and mic off when you go in.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't want to let me do it.
Weird.
Did you get the box that said like, "Are you okay with being recorded?" etc. etc.
Sure. I mean, I must have.
I must be okay with being recorded. I always click that box.
I have a choice. I didn't sign up to have consent about whether I'm going to be broadcast or not. I'll continue allowing. Yeah, I'm allowing it. I'll allow it. Oh well. I'll just do what I was doing before, anyways. Well, I guess I could always just do this. Oh, I have another idea. I have just such a juicy idea.
Until then, here's a picture of my cat.
Hi.
This is the premium content you're all looking for.
It is. This is like the whole reason why you do this.
What?
Woody, do you only have one webcam going today, or?
Here, I'll show you what I got going on right now.
Oh, I've got this one. I see you perfectly now, Woody.
Yeah, I kind of did a workaround. I figured it out.
Nice.
This is actually just like a hold screen. I haven't set up my shit yet.
Nice. This is legit.
Set plugged in, but the conversation's still coming over the speakers. What's up with that?
Hopefully I won't have any feedback issues today because I'm only using one device, so I won't have anything to loop into.
Should I wear headphones?
As long as you can hear me fine, I don't think I have a different setup now, and I don't think we're gonna have feedback issues.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, just have you guys got some dice or some kind of rolling thing?
I've got some marbles, if that's what you mean by some rolling thing.
Some kind of rolling thing. Some kind of.
Yeah, no, I got dice.
I wish I could make you guys a little bit bigger on my little thing there. You're so tiny. Well. So, yeah, you guys ready to go? Should we kick this thing off?
Yeah.
I'm ready to go.
Okay. Well, I think that you were gone for this session, Jeff, but last we heard from Tyrus Grady, he was basically scooped up by mudmen and carried off into the woods. And
Poor Grady.
And in great indignity, hoisted away into the night and not to be seen again for a while. Shortly after his disappearance, ironically, Eilig Dewart stumbled out of the woods, one of two that were previously captured by the mudmen. He managed to escape and make it back to Evermoor Keep.
Seems pretty convenient to me.
Yeah.
That they would come back right at the same time.
Yeah. And what seems convenient?
That they that those people are back like at the same time that I disappeared.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. No, sorry.
Yeah, it seems convenient. So you basically to this point in the narrative, you're just dead to the world, and Eilig was part of a second, kind of mounted defense against the mudman assault. They started pulling out all kinds of bamboo cages with big beasts in them and letting them loose on the fort. People got attacked by big, poisonous toads and stuff. And Dewart managed to get inside and get safe and help in defense of Fort Evermoor. Since then, kind of conflict has died back down. Basically, Sir Robert and James Fletch are working with their builders on building this thing they found the blueprints for called the treadwheel crane, and they think it can be useful in the defense of the fort. And the other things of note, I guess, are that Eilig found a container that was salvaged that contained some equipment that was intended for Tyrus, equipment relevant to his solicitor's scepter. And basically back at Fort Evermoor here is where we are. We find ourselves with the defenders of the fort, Eilig among them, and he's itching. He's in conversation with Sir Robert, and he's convinced the troop that for reasons he'll explain in a moment, he wants to go on a solo mission to travel into the woods to the camp, camp of the mudmen, and retrieve the high solicitor from his capture, and possibly anyone else. There is one other guard that was stolen from the wagon who's unaccounted for. So we find Eilig at the fort, basically preparing to enter the Evermoors. And yeah, for now, we're just doing theater of the mind, basically, but I just have this screen up as a sort of a visual cue about the story.
Okay. So just to continue on recap, are we still actively under siege or not?
Currently, no. It seems like there's been a lull in the attacks, and Sir Robert and Fletch and the other kind of builders and defenders of the fort are taking this moment to sort of fortify and repair the fort, perform some upgrades on the fortifications, and also start construction on this engine, this construction, the treadwheel crane.
Okay. So they're wanting to get started on that.
Yeah.
And I want to go retrieve the high solicitor from his capture.
And possible reasons for this may include that, you are the only one to escape the camp. You are the only one who knows where the camp is. Maybe you think it's safer to go alone. maybe you have some kind of an honor debt to Tyrus. This is things I would leave up to your discretion.
Okay. All right. Well,
Do you have a character sheet from last time or any like marker?
I've got my sheet from last time.
Okay. Well, basically, let me know about any preparations you want to make before you head off into the wilderness.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Yeah. Let's
And
see. Look over what I kind of had here.
these other characters, and and I'll role play them. I mean, so Robert basically he thinks that you're kind of foolhardy, but he doesn't disagree with the intent of your mission.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it's easier if I go it alone.
All right,
I
then.
won't be weighed down by all of your foolishness.
Make quick work of it. I suggest you take one of the horses. And by one of the horses, I mean this one horse that we have.
I was planning on that.
Here, I think we can spare a few of these. We'll need to save some for the construction and defense in case the mudmen return. But take these 2 explosium rods. They might come in handy.
They will, I'd say. All right.
So he hands you 2 explosium rods and a little box of tinder sticks, matches.
Okay. What is it? Can I leave under cover of night here?
Yeah, I think we're looking at the setting sun, and as twilight is kind of setting over the Evermoors, you can see shadows start to creep in the moors, and kind of a fog sets in.
All right. This is my time.
All right.
Explosion stick go off. That means come find me.
All right. They say Fletch agrees that if he sees explosions, he'll scout out the situation. And are you going to take the horse
Sounds
then?
very committed. I will take the horse.
Okay. So you mount up on this horse. It's like kind of too small for you almost. You're this big, burly, wild man. And you can kind of like cram onto this horse, and you set off down the path, and you slowly descend into the moors. And meanwhile, as this is happening, deep somewhere within the moors, Tyrus Grady awakes with a smashing headache, basically, and you can feel that your hands and feet are bound in some kind of thick, rope, vegetable rope, and you're kind of got crusted over blood, over one eye, and it's dark, but you can hear drums around you, and you can see a campfire nearby illuminating the face of some, hideous mud-covered troglodyte mutant man. They seem to be kind of preparing, hyping up for some kind of ritual. You can tell it's like a big gathering is going on.
So there's a lot of them, huh?
Yes, and let me,
Oh, nice.
Cool.
That's, is that me in the center, or no? That's me in the back.
Yeah. So you're there, kind of bound and kind of tossed aside, looking through the firelights at a group of mudmen. You kind of can't really see much from the position you are. You're kind of on your side.
Mm-hmm. Can I tell if I'm bound to anything on the ground, or am I just sort of bound to myself?
You don't appear to be like staked down or anything. You're just kind of leaned up against the bottom of a little hill, and there are two mudmen standing in front of you who are presumably keeping an eye on you. And, your hands and feet are tied, and despite what we're seeing in the miniature here, you don't know where your solicitor's scepter is.
Sure. Just to clarify, because I know before with the burst of light spell, I was using my scepter to point at shit and burst that light.
Yeah.
Is my scepter needed for my spell casting?
Yeah. So to further refine this thing we've been developing, this ability to create a beam of light is a feature of your solicitor's scepter, a magical mechanical instrument that is a status symbol for your kind of your status over the expedition, the dig.
Right.
And so yeah, this you'll need it to perform that.
Would it be to perform any spells? Because we also talked about a persuasion, like an improved disposition spell. Is it going to be for any spells that I want to try to cast? I'm going to need that scepter.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Shit.
your abilities are dependent mostly on the scepter, besides just your critical abilities.
Okay.
And
well,
so
I'm gonna
basically start, so you find yourself there. I'll give you one brief action.
Okay. I guess I'm gonna try to like see if the rope around my hands is like loose at all, and try to like maybe try to untie the knot, or get my fingers in between the rope to try to loosen it.
So I'm going to let you use, I think, dexterity or maybe wisdom. I think maybe either one.
They're the same to me, so.
Related to this. And we're going to set this situation at a DC 14, DC 13.
Exactly 13.
Okay. So we're going to DC 13, and in order to free your arms, you're going to have to do 8 points worth of effort. And so you rolled and you hit effectively. So I'm going to have you roll a d6 to, towards the 8 points of effort to untie your hands.
Okay. I got 5.
Okay. So you tick off 5 toward that. You're going to need to do 3 more effort later on to loose your hands.
Okay.
Okay. And as this is happening, Eilig, you dismount from your horse. The ground is starting to get really marshy and kind of difficult to traverse, and you think it might be more pain than it's worthwhile to continue on horseback. And so you emerge off your horse. You kind of, I don't know, you can still pull your horse with you if you want, but I'm just telling you that little bit of flavor. And you see up ahead through the trees, there is some firelight coming there. So there's someone off in the woods.
Aye. All right. Does this look like it might be a small camp or a large one?
As you near the clearing here, you can see through the fog there is a little fire going, and roll a perception check. Wisdom.
That's a 10.
Okay, yeah, you see some huddled forms kind of vaguely through the mist from where you're at. Huddled around some little smoldering campfire.
Okay. Let's see. I'll try and tie the horse off the reins and stuff against on a tree limb or something.
Okay.
So the tree to my right there.
All right. Tie off your good horsey, and you kind of slough into the mud there, and you can hear these low murmurings of some pretty lingual mudmen nonsense. And play moves back to Tyrus.
All right, I'm gonna try to wriggle free one more time. 14 this time.
14. Okay, go ahead and roll on a d6 your effort again.
5 again.
Oh, 5 again?
Yeah.
Okay, you managed to break free your bonds. I'm going to now give you an immediate dexterity check to see if your 2 guards notice that you've loosed your ropes around your hands.
Oh, 21.
21, okay. They don't notice anything. One of them looks over the shoulder at you, but you manage to kind of tuck your arms under. You conceal the fact that you lie still. You conceal the fact that you're even awake. And so one of them
keeping one eye.
One guard nudges the other and kind of walks off, maybe to yeah, you don't know what to do, but you're just only got really one guard. Kind of, it seems like this guy's not waking up anyways. I'm gonna go. You take care of this, and I'll give you a perception check if you tell me whether you're gonna roll to look generally to your left or generally to your right. And I'm talking theater, left and right, not your personal perspective here.
Sure. Yeah, I'm gonna look over to my right to the direction where that guy went off to.
Okay.
I got is perception wisdom?
Yeah.
9.
9. Okay. You see him walk off into the distance, but beyond the glow of the firelight, you don't know what's happening. You get the sense that at the top of the little hill you're on, there are maybe a couple more mudmen up there, but you're kind of right at the mouth of this cave entrance nearby.
Yeah.
All right, back to Eilig.
All right. Let's see. So I want to go off to my left and try and sneak up against that sort of raised bit and hide in the shadow there.
Okay.
Try and get a little bit closer view. Peek on these guys.
All right, you're sneaking then, it's safe to say.
Yes.
Keep up. All right. So go ahead and roll a dexterity-based sneak attack. I'll give you advantage. Just, to sneak.
12.
12, okay. Did you roll 2 dice?
No.
Yeah, so if I say that you have advantage, go ahead and roll 2 dice.
Roll 2. Okay. 16. Okay.
So with a 16, you kind of slowly you take a few steps that, kind of suck at your boots. But eventually you kind of get your stride and you find you can walk along these little ridges of, kind of less boggy ground. And you kind of get down to this kind of marshy, grassy hill full of, dead stalks that rise up out of the swamp. And up kind of ducking beneath this, behind this tree, you see the form of a mudman just ahead of you. And I think I'm going to swap camera 1.
Uh-huh. So ahead of you mean the guy who's above me, right?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Cool.
And you can dimly see a much larger fire, the light, presumably a much larger fire coming over this little ridge.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And yeah, so you are kind of poised behind this guy. He's maybe 3 feet away from you.
All right.
Back to Tyrus here.
Cool. I want to look to my left this time, and see if I can spy anything in the cave.
Okay. Go ahead and roll wisdom again, and your feet are still bound, by the way.
Right. I got a 17 on wisdom.
17. Okay, so you see inside the cave some. There's kind of a shaft of light coming down, and if you watch somewhere from deep in the cave, there's a crude set of stairs carved into the side of the cave, and there's some moonlight kind of coming down in the beam. Mm-hmm. And for a moment, the space is clear, and then a form steps into the moonlight. This little shaft of light coming down, and it's like this hideous old woman, kind of twisted and kind of engorged, you know, just fat and kind of sagging, like almost impossibly old, you know, and just like
Ew.
hardly even human almost. And beside her, two kind of hulking mudmen. And she steps out of light, but you can still see she's kind of ascending these steps to that kind of lead out of this crack through the top of the cave, and she emerges with her kind of two companions up to the top here, and kind of, you know, as she does so, there's been kind of this dull din of, you know, mudmen grunting and, you know, scratching and sometimes pounding things in rhythm. Some of them are, you know, doing some crude, you know, semi-coordinated movements you might call dancing. And at this time, this kind of crone raises her hands, and everything starts to fall silent. And then her two attendants start rhythmically starting a beat, you know, boom, 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 boom. And as they do so, the rest of this kind of, you look out and you notice as the fire kind of swells, there's this whole kind of crude amphitheater set up that is starting to beat along with them. And
Shit.
in the middle of this kind of boggy scene, there's this kind of generally fist-shaped rock sticking out from things, and there's the form of some non-mudmen, presumably the guard that was taken before, the one that was captured but did not escape with Eilig. And yeah, I'll give you an action. That was kind of a free action, but if you want to take another action, Jeff.
Cool. Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can untie. While everyone's distracted, gonna try to untie my my foot bounds.
Right. So you did it before. You kind of are familiar. Your hands are free. You certainly have advantage at this point. And we'll say that if you roll a 13 or higher, that you untie your feet.
Cool. And do I have an advantage with it? Is that what you were saying, or?
Yeah.
Okay, so I should roll twice. Just want to make sure.
Yeah.
And is it going to be plus my dex?
Yeah.
Or would
We'll
it just
do
be a
that.
straight roll?
That's fine.
Okay, so I got a 14 on my first one.
Okay. So you don't need to roll effort. You manage to untie your legs, but once again, make a check to see if you get discovered. Make a hide check. And since there's distraction, I'm going to give you advantage again, but I'm going to roll against you.
Okay. 17.
Did you roll?
Yeah, I got a 17.
Oh, 17. Okay, that's what you got. I also got a 17, so I'm not sure how we handle that. Let's roll it again.
Okay.
You had advantage. You had advantage. We'll give it to you.
Awesome, thank you.
So you look over your shoulder. Excuse me. The one of the mudmen that was guarding you looks over his shoulder, and you see him kind of turning around. And as he turns, you duck behind this tree.
Nice.
Or, I mean, you could do that, or if you just want to pretend like you're tied up still, I'm cool with that too. I'll let you choose.
I like the idea of jumping behind that tree real quick.
Okay. So you pop behind this tree and out of sight.
And cool. That's good.
And this mudman looks kind of alarmed, and he starts to walk out kind of to see where you've gone. You know, you recognize you're gone, but he doesn't see where you went. Okay. Eilig, it's your turn.
Let me look back over towards the small fire and see if those guys, what's going on with them.
Sure.
Permit me, my good man.
I got to refresh my camera here. Hold on.
I have to pee real fast. I drink a lot of coffee, so.
Right on.
1 second. Right
Me
back.
too. Okay.
All right. So,
What's your move, sir?
let's see. I was kind of thinking that there was just one of those guys over there.
Oh, make a
So-
perception check. And then what do you have on your character sheet? Real quick, I'll just want you to run that down for me.
Of items I have?
Well, just like abilities and stuff. I'm more interested than that, actually.
Okay. Give me some sort of fury of blows. And that's really the only like ability necessarily.
Well, what I had intended is that you had a throw anything feat, basically.
Okay.
You had a basically like a cleave ability, you know, so that if you down one enemy, you get an automatic attack at a nearby enemy.
Okay.
And then something I'm going to call a D6 dog pile.
Uh-huh.
So basically,
D6
like, every turn you take damage, like every consecutive turn you take damage, or every time you're hit, basically, you can tick off grab a D6 and you can count up to 6. And then once you get 6, you can roll a Constitution check to heal a little bit of damage.
Okay.
So basically, if you're like really getting pounded, you have like a second surge potentially.
Okay. Cool.
And so go ahead and roll a perception check for me.
Oh, natural 20.
So you see these two guys kind of huddled over the fire. They're like cooking some little meat, and as you start to hear this rhythmic pounding, something's going on over the ridge. These guys kind of drop what they're doing, and they start to walk up this way. And I need you to make a hide check to not be seen.
All right. 14. What's the modifier you want on there?
Dexterity, let's say. Or what do you think it would be, Jeff?
Yeah, dexterity is usually what hide is, and that's what I've been using.
Dexterity.
All right, so 17.
17?
Yep.
Okay. So these guys are coming towards you because they're going to climb up this little spot, but they, thus far, haven't seen you. What's your action?
I'm just going to hold and let them climb away.
And let them what?
Let's see. So are they continuing to go towards me, or are they going up the hill?
It looks like they're coming up towards you in order to access a little, path and join the rooms up there.
All right. Okay. I'm going to back up, grabbing the last guy as he's going. Let one guy pass and get the last guy, grab him.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
Back up into tree cover a little bit here.
Yeah. I want to back up.
And then
That's what it takes.
these guys walk up here. One guy kind of boosts the other guy. It's kind of a steep little incline. He gets up there. And then as the other guy's about to climb up behind him, the other guy kind of joins the throng, and you got a chance to grab this guy. So go ahead and make an attack roll, and we'll give you advantage for the surprise.
Okay, that was a 9. And a
Ferguson,
2.
I was tied
Okay,
up.
9.
Bones.
Let's see.
Now I have to figure out because everyone's looking at me basically. I was supposed to be the sacrifice, I think.
This is like a strength. Or
Yeah. So it'd be
12. That's a 12.
What's that?
That's a 12.
Oh, okay, so you grab this guy by the back of the neck. You got a hold of him. What's your move now?
Okay.
Right away. What's your move?
All right. I'm gonna throw him down on the ground and get on top of him and try and choke him.
Just go. I mean, you hit him. Describe your action.
Okay, so I'm pulling him off as he's trying to climb up, and I pull him down. I'm gonna have him on the ground. I'm gonna choke him.
All right. So as he's going to climb the hill, you grab this guy to the back of the neck, hurling him down. You step on the back of his neck and just kind of boom, boom, boom. There's a couple quick bubbles in the mud, and then he stops moving.
Okay.
All right, Tyrus. You're
Nice. My turn?
Hold on. And this guy is about to kind of pull around the tree and peek around for you here.
Uh-huh.
What's your move?
I'm gonna go ahead and I can see him come in this direction to look over at on the right.
His head down, and he's kind of he's like looking around. He's kind of sniffing. He's like inspecting the grass, and then you can see that he's getting close to seeing the bonds that are cut and left there on the ground.
Okay. I'm gonna come around on the right, on the other side of the tree, and then I'm gonna just like hit him in the back of the head with my fist. Just give him a nice punch.
So you're going for the Mudman Donkey Punch. Okay, so go ahead and roll using your strength and roll at advantage for being surprised.
12.
Okay. You give him a good clobber on the back of the head, and go ahead and roll a D4 plus your strength for damage there.
1. I have a -2 strength, so.
So you give this guy, you swing up and you knock this guy in the head, and he kind of stumbles forward to his knees a little bit and kind of whips around at you in regard to. Yeah.
I kind of realized too late that I'm not as strong as I thought I was.
Okay. And he kind of looks around and he's, scratching his head, and the kind of drums are continuing to get louder, and he's about to open his mouth, basically. All right, Eilig, we're back to you here.
All right. I am going to continue. I'm going to continue up the hill there by the tree to my left.
Okay.
And I'm going to try and hide up behind that big rock.
Okay, you're going out back that way. All right. So you go ahead and make another hide check. You can see a couple of these dudes up on the ridge.
Okay. That's a 5.
All right. So as you're kind of going back up the ridge, you kind of slip a little bit and let out kind of a whoop, and it draws the attention of one of these mudmen. And he starts kind of peeking over here, and he spots you, and he starts to cry out, basically. Ah! He's raising this kind of crude flint axe above his head as he points at you. But he's just started to react, basically.
Okay. His ankles. Try and pull him down.
Okay, I'll give you a dex check to grab his ankles. Roll against him straight here. We're using whatever modifier you got.
20.
20? Okay, you beat me. I had an 18. So as this guy comes around, you reach out and you grab his ankles and
pull him out from under him.
So you pull him out and pull him towards you.
Mm.
Right.
Nice.
He's down there a bit. Tyrus, this guy is turned around. And he has an open mouth. You got one action before he does something.
He's got an open mouth?
Yeah, he's about to, yell out or something.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm going to...
pretty slow, so...
I'm going to try to grab him and put my hand over his mouth.
All right. We'll go ahead and do... And he's a big, strong-looking dude too, but yeah.
Maybe I don't want to do that though.
That'll just make
Uh,
it more startling. No, he didn't expect it.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to tackle him. Actually.
You're gonna try to tackle him.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I can
Well,
push
we're
him
gonna
down.
we're gonna roll against each other's strength, and yeah, go ahead and make an attack roll at him.
I got a 12.
Okay. Well, he rolled a 3, so even with his strength, he's not gonna like really miss. So you kind of dive at him, and you kind of force your shoulder into his throat, and you both go down, kind of rolling, and you roll into the cave, kind of out of sight here.
Nice. Woof.
Okay, and you kind of tumble, and then you find yourself basically on top of him, kind of straddling him. You got one more action here.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna start choking him.
All right, so you start choking him again. Let's roll strength. I'm going to give you advantage because you're on top of him.
Damn it! I got 7 for both my rolls.
Okay, so he manages to push you off, and you guys are now kind of in this little struggle together, kind of choking at each other. Okay, Eilig. You pull this guy down, and he starts struggling and crying out. What's your move there?
I'm just gonna get my club and just try and squish Papa's mud head.
So I'm just going to roll against the failure. You basically got him prone here, and he tries to struggle, but you bring down the club, and June just like smashes his head in, basically. Yeah.
All right.
And as you do this, make a perception check.
9.
9. Okay, so you can see some movement up on the ridge here as some of these guys are moving around, and you see that there's a good number of these guys kind of crowded in, looking up at the action here.
Okay. Can I grab my new flint axes?
Yeah, you
flint
can
axes.
flint axe, yeah. And we'll say that's going to end your action, though.
Okay. There's two axes, right? Do they both have axes?
Yeah. Presumably, you can grab both their axes. You kind of rummage around and retrieve those. Okay.
I'm going straight Rambo on this thing. Yeah.
Tyrus, this guy is wrestling with you. This time, we're not going to give him disadvantage. What's your move here?
Cool. I'm actually gonna try to break free from the grapple and see if I can go like kind of get behind a big rock in the cave or something. See if I can find some cover.
Sure. We're gonna roll opposed strength again. I've got a +3 on mine.
Okay. Shit. Nope. Yeah, I got a 1.
All right, you struggle with this guy, but he slowly overpowers you and pins your arms at your side. And after this, he just like rears his head back, and with this like. He's got this just like nasty face, crooked teeth, kind of just like droopy, big, big flat forehead, and he brings it down and smashes it into yours and hits you in the face for 5 damage.
Oh my god. Good god.
And although you're battered and stuff, we'll assume basically that you're fresh hit point wise.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
He drags you. He like kind of pins your arms behind your back, and he starts kind of like he rummages around. He starts tying you up again, basically, the way you were before. And we switch back to Eilig with an axe in each hand here.
All right. So, I have 2.
Eilig, as you're kind of as you're there, the figures that are on the ridge start to go over the ridge. They start to walk away from you.
Okay.
And it seems like something has drawn their attention kind of more centrally here. They're starting to walk down, but they kind of disappear from your sight.
Okay.
There's one still pretty nearby.
Okay. Well, I'll stick those little axes in my belt then and hold on to them for a second. I'm going to try and sneak up around this boulder and try and kind of stay low and situate myself, I guess, to my right of the boulder.
Okie dokie.
Actually, can I make a kind of perception, I guess?
Yeah.
At this
I'll give
point,
you
I'm
a
looking.
climb up like nearby the boulder and peek over the ridge here.
Okay. Yeah. And then I just want to get a look at whether or not my a detonation from the explosium rod front, like on the mudmen's side of it, would that material fall away so that the could I blast the material away so that the big boulder would like roll towards them? I guess.
Okay.
I don't know if that's kind of awkward explanation.
I think I see what you're saying. Basically, you've got a convenient spot here where you could potentially wedge an explosium rod beneath this kind of big boulder. It's kind of nestled in this little, thing at the top of this little hill.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll take
up over here. Like, I'll give you a free perception check to see what's happening down below.
I got a 19.
Okay. So you kind of stealthily climbing on your hands and knees. You climb the side of this hill, and you see below you this ritual taking place that I described before. Now there are some kind of attendants that are around. They're forcing this guy. You recognize him. He's got the kind of garb of the company that he's wearing. Oh, shit. Being close up here.
Getting closer.
And there are two muscle-bound mudmen holding him down, and he's kind of resisting them, and then they're holding his arms at his side and his legs down, and then another one kind of comes up behind him and just brutally kind of grabs him in the face with two fingers hooked into his mouth and pulls his mouth wide open, so he's just screaming, and they're basically forcing his mouth open. And Tyrus, as this big knucklehead carries you out of the cave, basically he's kind of tying you up, forcing your hands behind your back. You're walking on your own 2 feet, but he's got you tied up again, and he kind of brings you to the mouth of the cave. And you also witness this happening. There we go. And all of a sudden, everyone kind of stops chanting and pounding their drums and such. And this old kind of crony up at the top kind of makes a motion for silence. Sorry, I guess I'm having a little camera difficulty here. 1 second. Okay. And as she does so, everything stops, and she enters this undulating trance. And as she moves, you can hear these disgusting kind of guttural sounds coming forth from her. It just like chills you both to the bone. It just sounds like unhuman and unnatural, these kind of sick, sloshing, deep moans of strange ecstasy. And all of a sudden, the mud right in front of you, Tyrus, begins to well up, and you're kind of knocked backwards. And all of a sudden, there's this welling kind of pod that comes up from the mud as the mud rises itself, and kind of the motion of the mud as it comes up is kind of mirroring the this priestess as she moves, and it reaches up into a kind of a crude pseudopod and makes this arc over before jutting into this open mouth, and you can see this guy convulsing as this, thick black mud kind of glistening in the moonlight descends into his body and disappears. And after a amount of time, he stops kind of resisting and kind of rises up, and you can see him, visibly changed and more so resembling these mudmen you're surrounded by. And, effectively, they just turned him into a mudman,
But
And so here we go. That's in now. And I think it was Eilig's turn, technically here.
Okay. I'm going to try and wedge one of those explosium rods, not lit, but just in preparation for being able to light it on the fly in a minute.
Okay. So you wedge one of those rods in there beneath the rock.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to go ahead and make a secret roll as far as your effort goes on how well you did that. Okay. Well, I'll just tell you.
Totally half-assed.
I rolled a 1, so I'm going to roll again. I rolled a 1 and then a 6, so not a critical failure. But as you're kind of doing this, you're working with it, and the explosium rod snaps in half, and you've got 2 kind of short explosium rods now. And you can have one more action.
Sweet. All right. Okay. So that plan failing, I'm gonna take the other rod, light it, and let it burn down for a minute, and then I'm gonna try and throw it at this lady, this priestess.
Okay. So you light the now kind of short fused or like half charge of explosium rod.
Wait, I was gonna use my other rod, my non-broken one.
Let's see if you can jury rig, with cut it on your axe or something. If you can jury rig the fuse onto the other explosium rod there.
Oh, there's only one fuse.
Yeah. Well, I think most sticks of dynamite only have one fuse. Yeah.
Well, no. This is I had 2 sticks. One stick was just broken in half.
Oh, okay. So you're using your shorter one of the stick that just broke, right?
No,
I think
I'm not
he's
using.
full.
I'm using the full stick.
Oh, okay. You're using your second stick. Okay, yeah. So you're just cooking it and then tossing it, right?
I'm gonna try and cook it a little bit. I'm gonna let it burn in my hand.
Okay, yeah.
Then
Sure.
I'm gonna try and fire it over there.
So let's just make a dexterity-based attack for that.
9.
9.
9. Okay.
Shit.
Well, you cook this thing a little bit, and it kind of jumps the spark a little bit. It goes down quicker than you expected. So you hurl it, and as you hurl it, it's somewhere like kind of generally in the air above Tyrus and his captor. It explodes. It sends this, it kind of collapses the mouth of the cave. The kind of troops settled here, they kind of fall off the back, and Tyrus and his little captor are kind of knocked to the ground into the mud here. And obviously the whole scene is thrown into uproar at this explosion. And Tyrus, it's your turn.
Cool. I'm gonna stand up and start. Let me see. Wait, I can't fucking see shit. I think I'm gonna stand up and book it back towards the tree that I'd been hiding behind before.
Okay.
To see if I can like get some cover while everything's in a panic.
Yeah. So you're gonna have reduced movement while you're in this kind of thick muck. But just make like a dexterity-based check, just kind of generally to maneuver through this stuff.
17.
All right. So you pass the check to move around, and I'm gonna say that it's 4 effort to move out of this mire. And again, we'll say it's dexterity-based. So go ahead and roll a d6 plus your dexterity.
7.
7. Okay, so you managed to get free of the mud, and you kind of kind of push this guy down as you go, push him into the mud, the guy that was previously tied you up. Now, you are like, your hands are still tied up, so you rush off into here with your hands tied behind your back, and you kind of duck behind this tree again.
Yeah, okay, cool.
All right, excuse me, Eilig, it's your turn.
Okay. I'm going to take my fusey side of my broken stick, and I'm going to basically I'm just basically going to light it and just fling it somewhere directly to my right, like kind of over towards this, not the boulder that's near me, but the next one, kind of diagonal from me. Yeah, generally towards that area, or towards, yeah, that side of where those dudes are.
Okay.
Maybe hit them.
Go ahead and make an attack roll.
20.
20. Okay, natural 20. Roll to confirm a critical. Rolling against a 12.
13.
13, okay. So because it's a critical, I'm going to give you the normal damage on these explosium rod. We're going to do 46 rolled here. And it's quite a bit of damage. So you kind of throw it right into this mess of guys, and just like, boom, 4 of these guys are gone. Just like, they're just like tossed into bits, like, you know, ochre and blood and, you know, all kinds of awful flies everywhere. This guy kind of comes slippering down in the blood and, like, you know, turns down here. He's a little kind of and this rock is blown back a little bit by the force and kind of tilts back towards you. It's kind of loose from its fittings. It kind of hops up in a little bounce, you know, like a boom, you know, kind of gets loose. And you see a window that if you kind of throw your weight in, you think maybe you could influence its course.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, I'm going to heave into it then.
All right, so you heave into it. Make a strength check against a 12.
Yeah, +3 strength. 8.
Okay. so you kind of heave into it, but it just kind of settles back in place where it was, and you kind of lose your footing a little bit. And yeah, now we're back to Tyrus here.
All right. I'm gonna duck behind that tree, and then try to undo my hand ties.
Okay, Tyrus, you duck behind the tree, and go ahead and roll same as you did before. You're going to have 8 effort to undo these bonds.
Well, those bonds are last time, huh? Cool. I got a 19 on my effort on my roll.
Okay, D6 for the untie them.
6.
So. Nice.
Okay, so you nearly free yourself from the bonds here, and if you want a movement at this point, you can take it, but no more action here.
Okay. I'm gonna try to let me see. I'm gonna try to scramble up the marsh, up this hillside, I guess.
All right, yeah. By this time, you see the culprit of these explosions, Eilig, up there on the hill, struggling with a rock. You kind of move towards the base of the hill with your hands still tied. You can say something to him.
I'm gonna say, by the grace of our Lord, give me a hand.
All right,
I don't really know like how I'm expecting to get a hand considering I'm all bound up, but.
All right. I see you, boy. I'm gonna come down there. I'm trying. I'm gonna go down the hill a little bit, and I guess reach out with a club, give him something to grab onto.
Okay. So you kind of extend your club, and as you do so, Jeff, let's roll again to see if you can loose those bonds.
I don't think so this time. I got a 6 on my DC roll.
Okay, yeah, it's not going to cut it. So you're struggling there at the bottom of the hill. I'll give you a dex-based check at disadvantage to climb up the hill without having your hands free.
Okay. 11.
Okay, so you kind of stumble and try to you try to get up the hill, and you kind of slip and fall forward, so that you're kind of face plant basically in the marsh grass there.
Shit. I'm not playing smart right now.
And Eilig, take a moment to have a perception check here.
Right. That's a 5.
All right, never mind. You don't see shit. What you do see, in fact, is a stone as it whizzes over your shoulder. And some of the mudmen down here have kind of regrouped, and they're throwing rocks up at you. So I'm going to roll some attacks against you. What's your armor class?
Pretty beefy.
You got that number for me, armor class?
15.
Oh, okay. All right, one rock hits you for 2 damage.
Okay.
And another errant rock, you see this guy who was Tyrus's original guard gets up out of the mud. He's reaching his club up to clobber Tyrus, and he gets knocked in the back of the head by an errant rock. He takes 3 damage and kind of stumbles forward. And this is the second time he's been smacked in the back of the head, but he's a tough guy, so he's rolling with it. Okay, Tyrus, it's your turn.
I guess am I face down in the mud?
Yeah, you're kind of face down in the grassy hill there.
Okay, I'm gonna try to loosen my bonds one last time.
Okay,
Laying in
go
the
for
mud,
it.
my sorry self. I got a 12 on that roll.
All right, that makes it. Roll your effort.
Nice, 7.
Okay, so you bust your bonds loose, and you manage to stand up. You got a movement action.
I'm gonna go ahead and try to clamber up to the top of the hill, reaching my hand out to grasp my friend there.
All right, yeah. Tyrus is there with the club outstretched for you. You grab onto one of his club spikes. He pulls you up there, just as this other guy kind of regroups and reaches out for you, but his hand grasps air as you climb up, and then this guy starts scrambling up after you. Tyrus, it's your turn. You got a free attack against this guy.
It's a party up there.
Tyrus, or is it my free attack? Right?
Oh, excuse me. I meant Eilig, actually.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm gonna try and just bat him back down the hill there with the club.
All right, go ahead and make an attack at advantage.
Let's see. 20 there. Okay, that was a 10. So 20.
Okay, so go ahead and roll damage.
All right. Is it a D12? Is that what you had, man?
I can't remember. I think maybe a D10 or D12. We'll say, I don't know. Whatever you got, yeah.
I have D12 written down here, but
Okay, then D12 then.
let's see.
The big beefy club.
But it just says D12. It doesn't necessarily mean that that's my damage, but we'll go with it. 3.
Okay, he's taking a few hits. You clock him a good one, and he kind of tumbles backwards down here into the mud. Flop. And as he does so, there's some more rocks coming up at you guys. Miss, 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 and wow, terrible miss. So all these rocks just like flying up here, bouncing off of this big boulder. And Tyrus, it's your turn. You guys both spot this this witch woman as she kind of pulls herself back up on the rocks. You can see that she's a little bit injured. She's got one companion with her here, and she is in this fervorous chant right as she crests up the top of the thing. She raises her arms above her head again. She starts undulating, and as she does so, this pillar of mud starts to rise up out of the swamp again. All right, and Tyrus, it's your turn.
I'm gonna. Well, thanks so much for helping me. Do you have any weapons?
I'm
Tyrus,
I'm
take a
late.
perception check. Sorry to interrupt.
Huh?
Take a perception check.
Ooh, I got a 21.
Okay, good check. Tyrus, there's this almost sixth sense of you're distressed about your solicitor scepter. You look over in the mouth of the cave and kind of in a pile of refuse nearby there, you see the glint of your scepter down there right near the mouth of the cave.
Okay. Cool. I know where I'm going. I just want to make sure that I'm armed. Do I notice anything on like that Fergus's character is carrying?
You see that he's got one gauntleted fist with a heavy kind of clobbering, metal glove on it. He's got two flint axes tucked in his pants there that he seems available.
I'm gonna. Hey, kind savior, can I have one of those axes?
Take one of these.
Yoink.
Slap it to his chest.
All right, he passes you a club, a flintlock, gun club thing.
Cool.
Whoa, where'd I get that?
Well, what I meant was
The flint axe.
A flint like gun stock. Those Last of the Mohican style ones. It's basically like.
Oh, okay, cool, neat. I was like a flintlock.
I just meant flint. I said flint. All right, so Tyrus, you got it. What's up?
And then I'm gonna tell Fergus's character, cover me. I need to go back for my holy scepter.
All right. He's asking for cover, Eilig. You darting down the hill then?
I'm darting down the hill.
All right. I'm going to give you a dexterity action here. We're going to say you're like surgeon right now. We'll give you advantage. If you roll over a 13 dexterity, you just make this clean beeline straight for the scepter. Relay race, President's Challenge. You grab it and you rip off the other direction. So roll that for me.
16.
All right, 16. So you sprint down there. As you do so, this big, shit tentacle swipes overhead. But you keep moving. You grab your scepter and you hightail it back, and you get to the top of the hill just in this burst of energy. And you got, as you're doing so, you got a couple of mudmen that are coming up right on your tail here, and you got this big glowering, strange muddy pseudopod thing too.
Nice.
And Eilig, it's your turn.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna say to Tyrus, I have a horse. Let's get back.
Sounds good to me. Yeah, let's get the fuck out of here.
So I'll lead the way. I'll grab him and lead the way back down the hill.
Do we first want to fuck them up and push over this boulder?
Maybe the two of us can do it.
As you guys are discussing this, you're kind of ducked in behind the boulder, and this big mud arm, you can see all the massive mud coming out from this little puddle to extend over, and it lifts up this rock and kind of exposes you as you're there. It kind of pulls the rock up. And I think hold on here. Got up. Anyways, your guys' action here.
I'm gonna point my scepter at that old witch woman and try to point a beam of light directly in her face, to hopefully blind or distract her.
Tyrus, as you do this, you kind of brush the mud off of your prized possession here, your solicitor scepter, and despite a little bit of tarnish, nothing's worse. Whoa, nothing's worse for the wear here. You raise it above you and you shoot a beam of light, and it shoots out towards the in one kind of big burst, and the cylinder around the lens gets kind of like red hot and shoots this beam of light, and it causes the it causes a well, roll an attack roll just to make sure you don't critically fail here.
15.
Okay, so as you do this, you shoot this hot beam of light over at her, and it causes her to break her concentration, and she her mud thing starts to sink back into the swamp here, and in the process, this kind of tidal wave hits as this big rock splashes in the mud, and it kind of knocks these two guys down as this big thing drops. And Eilig, it's your turn.
Okay, so can I still see the head honcho there, the priestess lady?
Yeah.
Still got line of sight?
Blasted with the light up there.
Okay. I'm going to turn to Tyrus. Watch this. I'm going to pull out that other hatchet, and I'm going to try and throw and try and hit her in the
all right, making
right square in the chest.
At advantage here.
Considering I've got that throw anything feat. So it was a 10, 16.
All right, so
19.
Okay, so you pitch an axe at her. Go ahead and roll a d6 of damage for that. You can add your strength.
Oh, nice. That's a 6.
Okay, so you throw it, and this axe lodges itself kind of right on the shoulder of this witch woman, and she screams out in agony, and one of her attendants kind of steps out in front of her and pulls her back, and they descend down those moonlit stairs into the cave.
I'm going to turn to Tyrus. Ha, ha, ha.
And as they do so, the rest of this throng of mudmen start to kind of assemble, and they're headed up the hill at you.
Uh-oh.
And Tyrus, you can initiate a move here.
You got any more of those explosion sticks?
I'll show him the little nub that I've got.
Shit.
With no fuse.
Hey Woody, just for like how hot does my light get when it shines on something?
So basically, we should go over I wrote out. So there's some more notes that are going to be given about the Solicitor Scepter, because there's a other kind of host of abilities that it has, especially when you pair it with some of the new equipment that Eilig found in the crates.
No, cool.
But for now, like, we'll say that if you spend a round charging it up, that you can do a concentrated blast. That instead of doing a bright light, you can maybe focus your lenses down to a laser, kind of make a little jet of like a real hot, little burn the ant style jet,
Okay, perfect. I'm gonna point to the mouth of the cave and tell him to throw, and I'm gonna start charging up my scepter.
Okay, so this round you focus your energies and you turn the necessary dials and whatever to absorb enough light from around you to kind of focus into the kind of the center of this, the eyepiece of this of the scepters, the Solicitor Scepter. And then Eilig, two mudmen advance up the hill towards you. Two of these brutish guys right here to your side. And yeah, your action.
Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead. I think I'll let's see. I'm gonna start off by throwing over the bit of explosium rod once Tyrus sees it.
All right, so action one, you toss. Go ahead and give a lob. We're going to do against failure that you make it a good enough lob that Tyrus might have a chance of hitting.
Okay. Roll 8.
8. Okay, yeah, that's against failure. So you lob this thing in front of the mouth of the cave, and you got another action.
All right. I'm gonna go for a big old thwack against the this first mudman here.
All right, you got high ground. Go ahead and make an attack roll.
19.
All right, roll damage for that on your d12 plus strength.
7.
All right, so you smack this guy aside with one big roll, and you're set up for a kick if you want to take your cleave against this next guy here.
Yeah. All right. So then I want to just do a forward kick and just try and kick him right in the chest back down the hill.
Okay.
Ooh. That's 21. Woo! These rolls
All
are
right,
fire.
roll for a critical there.
Okay. 12.
All right, so you bat one guy aside, you kick the other guy in the chest, roll damage for him.
Okay. Would that be like a D6 for that, or
Yeah, let's do d6 for just a kick. Yeah.
a 5?
All right, so you kick him backwards. He falls around there and gets knocked over. Basically, you defended the hill for this round. And Tyrus, some rocks come whizzing towards you here. Miss, and a hit for 2 damage. One glances you in the side here. You get whipped by a big dirt clod.
What?
And you can just see that more of these guys are like pouring out of the cave. You focus your energy, and I'm going to have you roll against the room DC has been a 12. We'll have you roll against the 12. You got your instrument back. Let's see how you can use it here.
Yeah,
And,
I want to aim directly at the little piece of explosive rod and blast a hot little ray at that motherfucker.
All right, so this would probably be what's your dominant stat?
Dexterity.
All right, what's your dominant intellectual stat then, or you know?
Oh, I have a charisma of with a +4 charisma.
Okay. Okay, well then go ahead and roll a dexterity, and with the use of your, do you have a wisdom bonus at all?
I have a +2 wisdom. Yeah.
Okay, we'll let you use your wisdom bonus using your scepter along with your dexterity bonus there.
Okay. Cool. 21.
All right, so this thing's all charged up. You shoot this like red hot, line of energy, and it blows this little explosium rod, and kind of the mouth of the, you can hear it kind of echo throughout the cave, and you can hear the screams of, the guttural screams of mudmen as it kind of, you can hear rubble flying and all this stuff. It's a pretty pronounced blast, a bunch of smoke blasts out of there, and as you do so, though, you got like 6 or 7 guys that are, all clamoring at the base of the hill here to get up and get at you. And you're thinking it's about time to GTFO.
Yeah, I'd say so. We've been doing pretty well so far, though.
It's true. It's tempting to just keep whooping ass, but
What's the move?
I think it's on you, Fergus.
Okay, it's time to go.
I'm ready to hightail it. I've done my actions.
All right, what's
Back to the horse. All right, so I'm gonna go down where those other 2 dead mudmen were. Those drowned mudmen. Yeah, I'm basically just gonna hightail it for the horse and try and start untying it.
God damn it.
Yeah. Yeah, same. I'm gonna hightail it for the horse too.
All right, so Eilig jumps down here. He gets on his horse, and you swoop up. Your boy Tyrus with you, and I'm assuming you guys are hightailing it back to Evermoor Keep here.
Yeah.
You're gonna have a few more rocks flying back behind you. That's 1 hit on both of you. 1 for 3 damage, 1 for 2 damage. And as you turn, you can hear the screams of this this weird old, shaman as you guys disappear off into the woods and kind of pick up the trail back to Evermoor Keep. And yeah, that's the night.
Whew. When we get back to Evermoor, can we do some stuff when we get back to Evermoor Keep?
If you like, yeah.
I mean, I know that I personally would like to hit up that healing stone as soon as possible. I only got like 1 HP left.
Yeah, that's good. You're hanging on. So basically, where we'll leave you is these events expired like throughout the night. You'll still ride for a little bit before you get your way to Evermoor Keep. We'll assume that Eilig can keep you, on the horse while you're riding back, and we'll also assume that you guys have mudmen on your tail here.
Okay.
And that you've definitely riled their anger in stealing away their sacrifice and in damaging their priestess. So basically, you guys are going to arrive at the fort sometime early in the morning, assuming that you can, you're on horseback, so you're going to beat them out of the moors. But they'll be on your tail,
Yeah.
coming up basically. So, but that's the pin at the end of that little segment.
Shit.
Cool.
Nice.
Dude, I like the big mud little mud spirit thing. That was cool looking. Well, it's all pretty cool looking.
That's just the beginning, dude.
Yeah. Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna grab it.
So, anyways, yeah, that was fun, guys. Thanks for playing.
Yeah, that was great.
I'm still getting used to it. It took me a long time when I was setting up this session for kind of trying to find the right camera angles and stuff. But that was much smoother than the previous sessions, I would say.
Yeah, it went really. I mean, this one went really well, especially that you had it all on one screen for yourself, and all you do was just switch between that one screen.
Yeah.
But was it technically easier too? As far as
hugely, yeah. And I just had a better setup. I got a monitor now to view everything kind of above it. Well, here, I'll show you my setup actually. Why not?
Whoa. Damn, you really do have a whole setup.
And then kind of here's my
That's
viewing.
a movie set, dude.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
It's pretty sick.
I got this new tripod for myself. Super stoked on it. But
Nice.
anyway.
It's pretty legit.
So basically, kind of a little bit of out of game stuff here. I know I say this every time, but I'm still intending to do some character sheets for you guys, and I'm still kind of trying to working on figuring out. There's a lot of these Roll20 and some of these sites that have some kind of extended features in addition to just some ways we could keep track of mechanical stuff kind of on screen too, a little bit anyway.
Yeah.
I don't want to go too far into that, but anyways, I had some stuff written down for the solicitor scepter, but basically one incoming function, basically it's an instrument of, your whole thing is you're this archaeological kind of, we've talked about it before, but you're the high priest meets the, head archaeologist, And so this scepter is a status symbol. It's also, it has defense applications, but largely it's a tool of your craft, which is surveying, your dig site and organizing information. And so you can use this spotlight to, help, everybody work in low light conditions. You can also adapt it to use, for, like you did before, for your archers and stuff. Basically, it can be used to, as a free action, you can create a spotlight with it.
Yeah.
As an alternative free action, you can create a, I lost my train of thought. You can measure a distance precisely.
Okay, cool.
And so you could like use that to give advantage to nearby troops that were making ranged attacks. And then if you spend a round charging it up, like kind of absorbing the nearby light, you can emit a powerful beam of light, in a concentrated path. Or you could emit kind of like a blast of light kind of in a small radius, like the one would do damage and the other one would just dazzle sort of and, confuse or blind,
Right, yeah.
And then Eilig, we can go over this when we get back to the keep, but he discovered a crate of contents that were intended for you. It has some kind of like updated equipment for your solicitor's rod from, the powers that be, and some of these simulacrum canisters. And so there's 3 of these simulacrum canisters, and what these do, like, there's like 3 kind of unopened ones and 1 opened one. And like basically the final kind of use for this scepter is that it's an information exchange device. And basically other high solicitors who have these scepters, they can use these simulacrum canisters to sort of record. They can basically, absorb the light from a situation to later be projected out through another solicitor's scepter. And so somebody has sent you a message through one of these simulacrum canisters that you would basically use your scepter as like a projector, and it will project like a scene out, over a space.
Yeah, movie night, dude.
Yeah, it's movie night, yeah. And then you'll have 3 blank canisters with which to record your own, messages of a certain length, but they're all just visual. So you could basically like capture you can basically use it like a camera and sort of capture a scene happening and then replay it, project it out later on if you want to.
Dude, I know. I know you want me to make an experimental film in this D&D campaign.
Yeah, 3-scene film, yeah.
A 3-scene experimental film.
So yeah, we'll get into the content of the message that was sent later, but that's like, just you can keep in mind that's a tool now at your disposal, basically.
Cool.
And I talked to Andy and Jake, and we're gonna play tomorrow night. What happened when you guys were gone from the fort, basically. So.
Okay. Shit.
And then I'm hoping that at some point in the future we can all regroup again and have the kind of final showdown, because I've basically got one more encounter worth of material for the fort after I have this session with Robert, Sir Robert, and Fletch. So. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
All right, guys. Well,
I hope they do well tomorrow and don't let the fort just get destroyed.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Has Sam wanted to join in at all, or have you heard from him at all?
When I was in Illinois, I talked to him about it. He sounded kind of interested, but he hasn't responded to anything I've sent him, and I haven't been able to get hold of him. So I would say I'm taking that as a no, basically.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna I don't know. I mean, I do want to play this. I do want all that stuff, but I'm not gonna really bend over backwards to get anybody to play, because I just don't think that's a good move. I need people that want to play, not that I have to force.
No,
them.
for sure, yeah.
And so if I really hope that this group can schedule at least again to kind of end this little thing, and then
yeah.
And then maybe in the future, we can, if people are interested, we can maybe try to organize a date. I understand it's hard to get people together every week or even, every other week. So,
yeah.
Anyway. But
I already have 2 D&D groups that meet every other week here in Portland. So that's
oh damn,
that's its own struggle. I'm basically just
gaming, dude.
I'm gaming all the time. I'm in one that's sort of this surrealist campaign where
I think you told me about that
people
one.
just kind of do wacky shit. Yeah, I probably told you about that one. And then I just started one with.
It was too abstract for me. I don't think I would enjoy it.
It's fucking weird. Everyone's mostly just trying to jerk themselves off as being the most clever person.
Yeah.
I often skip that group because I'm actually kind of tired of it. But then I'm running one right now with a bunch of friends who wanted to learn how to play D&D but have never played. And it takes place in a grocery store. and they're all employees at this like supermarket, and they just have to like but it's still a magical D&D realm. So this first encounter is like the store's overrun with rats, and then and there's like sort of this shady night manager who's like stealing product and stuff, and then there's a mystery of like, where the fuck are these rats coming from? What's this night manager up to? And in the end, he's gonna be like the rat daddy. He's gonna be like a were rat. And
Dude, that's amazing.
He's like trying to move all of his like rat children into the supermarket.
Nice.
I've got this kind of one-shot adventure. It would probably be, as far as this kind of thing goes, it might be a couple nights of gameplay, but Ashley and I wrote this adventure together that I want to play sometime soon. And it's basically, it would be just a one-off thing, like maybe not a one-night adventure, but just like it wouldn't be part of an extended campaign. But basically, it's like kind of like The Hangover, basically. Like there's these like group of adventurers that they like capture this powerful artifact that they have to bring back to the king, and they go out to celebrate, and that's how the adventure starts. Like they've just ended some like huge campaign. They go back to the tavern.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then basically they get like dosed, and they wake up with like all their shit gone, like outside of a tavern, and they have to figure out what happened to this artifact, basically, like the night before. And there's this whole thing we have written out, but it's a cool seed idea. The thing that I really like about it is that it's actually pretty combat light. Like there's just a lot of like role playing stuff that happens in it that is nice. Like I'm definitely getting better at like coming up with some more like less combat based encounters, like strictly, But anyways, that one, I'd love to run that one with some of you guys sometime if anybody.
That sounds really fun. One of the most interesting campaigns that I've ever heard of was some of my friends who do an online thing. Have you ever played it's called like Battle TV or Gore TV or something like that?
No.
It's basically this old like, and you go into these giant Coliseum battles basically and kill all of these like mindless drones that are trying to attack you. And the more you kill, the more prizes you get. So you get things like big screen TVs and like and other shit like big specialty prizes and like they're like really hot models. And one of my friends was playing this campaign where that's all they did was they just basically played this like they were all heroes on this reality TV show where they just had to like murder millions and millions of people who were just like coming at them for fighting, so they could win things like a new microwave set or like a
pretty weird,
or like a trip to Cancun, like which I thought was really funny. Are these your Mudmen pictures? Your Inspirato?
Yeah, these are just some like thematic pictures that I was potentially using. Yeah.
Who's that black guy?
I don't know. That's a good question. I never noticed him in the smaller version of the picture.
That's Andy's character.
Hold on.
He's very concerned.
Hold on, I gotta correct that.
Oh.
I really don't want to draw any parallels, any racial parallels to any of my material here. It's already dangerous enough along those lines. Because, like, I don't know, just because there are these, like, the idea for the Mudmen, there are these, like, air quotes, Mudmen of Papua New Guinea that, like, wear these mud masks that they make. But I haven't even really made any of my, the mud, it's not the same thing. It's just, they're just neat images to, like, use.
I don't think anyone's trying to, like, say that this, this D&D campaign you're running with like 4 of your friends is going to be culturally insensitive.
Yeah, I mean, you could definitely stretch it to fit that because it's a very colonial like narrative. These like people that like go to another like continent to like, settle the land and stuff and like dig up old treasures. But
and there's just like basically people who are the natives who are like, fuck you.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's more going on in the sense of this thing because it's all will be revealed in the fullness of time.
Why you white men have so much cargo when we mudmen have none?
When we mudmen just have to get infected by swamp juice.
To be fair, from what I've seen today, if we weren't there, there wouldn't be any mudmen. She's using us to make her mudmen. So,
well, she's at least making more mudmen with the captives that she's gotten.
It's a
yeah, that's all of us.
I was hoping to break Tyrus's legs this session, but it didn't really work out like that.
God. Woo.
I was definitely like, I didn't strongly, it's like I definitely, I have my own plan, but you can't like pigeonhole players into the situation. But I was definitely hoping that my idea was that it would be too guarded along the ridge, and then Eilig would go through the swampy areas kind of around, that was kind of the goal. And just, of course, like, why would I think that anything would go the way planned,
Never does.
Then he would get all covered in mud and, like, have a disguise, basically, to, like, sneak in amongst the crowd,
I was actually thinking about that after I grabbed that first guy. I was like, now how difficult would it be to, like, make myself look like a mudman and, like, roll in the mud?
To rip off his mud
face. What was
face.
going to happen is the first guy was going to get sacrificed, and then they were going to then Tyrus would escape. They would grab him back and then break his legs so that he couldn't escape again, basically. And then Eilig would have to, like, basically carry him out, with broken legs. That was going to be part of the challenge, but it just didn't go like that, And I was true to the roles and shit. So anyway, I was kind of looking forward to that horrific moment of breaking Tyrus's legs, though.
That's crazy and kind of great. I actually kind of like the idea of a DM who's a little more less forgiving is the term for it, because, like, especially with the game that I'm running, I can't be like, I feel like I can't be I have to be a little bit more forgiving because it's their first campaign.
Right.
And so if I, like, really demoralize them, then they're like, I don't know what the fuck to do because I haven't, like, learned to think outside the box on my actions yet,
Yeah.
So, like, they got bit by some rats and got filled fever, and they were really upset about it.
Oh, yeah.
But
I think it just takes time, too, for, like, I hope that we could – I think there's probably – I'm going to play with those guys tomorrow night, and then I'm hoping we can get everybody together maybe sometime around the holidays when everybody might have some time free. Do, like, a full session, and then that's probably going to be the end of this thing, and we'll see whether we can all reschedule into a new group. But I've just been working mostly. I do prep for these, but a lot of it is just, like, me trying to figure out the tech and stuff. So, like, I feel like there hasn't been the consistency of mechanics that are really going to lend itself to, like, that consistent rules so that players really can, like, feel the ability to express themselves through the rules.
Yeah.
But I'll try to have some stuff more pinned in together for this next big session we all do together. What was I going to say? Yeah, I don't know. But anyways, thanks for playing, guys. And I hope you guys are both having a good, having a good holiday season so far.
We're having a big party tonight at, like, in a couple hours.
There's a big party going on in the house next door.
Nice.
That I'm filtered away playing D&D away from. So
you're like, no.
No.
Hey, can you guys keep it down? I'm getting weird feedback. No, I just moved into a new place in Portland. Where, like, because Brennan and I were living in a studio apartment. And some of our friends had basically this basement suite in their house open up. And it was the same size as our studio, but then we would also have access to the rest of the house in this giant yard. And, like, it's in a much nicer neighborhood. So we ended up moving last weekend.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And so now I'm in a different part of town, but it's much fucking nicer than where I just was. But we're having a housewarming party tonight to, like, make everyone feel welcome, I guess.
Oh, I'm glad that you could make it to the session in that case.
Oh, no worries. I don't have anything to do before the party. Oh, is he gone? No. Okay.
I'm here. I'm just playing with my game-related media. What I'd really like to do, I'm still trying to figure it out, is I'd really like to be able to have it like other Twitch users and stuff have, where they can have, like, little window kind of border things, and they can, like, import, like, an overlay, that shit's so bomb, but we'll get there.
Are there any like Twitch channels where people play a D&D session and like people?
Yeah,
like,
totally. It's a pretty small thing still, and the interesting thing is that nobody is yet playing like miniature based D&D online. Like almost nobody's doing it, like and broadcasting it. So like currently people play with like 2D setups and stuff, but like as far as like people who this kind of like multicam, like, you know, real like terrain based play, nobody's doing it as far as I can tell. And you know, Twitch, like the Twitch community, like that like watches D&D, it exists. There are hundreds of people that watch D&D online, but compared to like the video game thing, it's like it doesn't exist. You know, like
well, for sure.
there's hardly anybody watching it. But you know, there's some stuff coming up. There's something called D&D Beyond that's going to be like very made for like people playing D&D in this way online. And it's probably going to change those numbers somewhat, but I think it's a unique thing. I'm trying to work it out. I'm not like trying to like necessarily make it like some kind of sensation, but it definitely would be something I'd like ideally like to like play every week and like, you know, try to build a little audience for, and maybe even build some, if there was an audience at all, build in a little audience participation. I tried to use the poll feature on the live video this session, like kind of like to have the pre-game room where you like had a poll beforehand on the video. As far as I know, it didn't work, but like basically that kind of thing in the future could be kind of cool as far as like just a little flavor to like, you know, if you had live spectators to like, you know, let them influence like monster actions or whatever, you know.
That would actually be really cool to have like spectators vote on what they want like the NPCs to do.
Yeah, that's the thing that I was going to say earlier that I forgot is I was talking to Fergus about inviting somebody to play the monsters in a session like this. Like basically having like a second like sub DM to like just play monster actions, you know, and then, you know, having the regular players and then of course the DM to kind of like supervise everything. But that was something I picked up from a YouTube channel that I watched, and I was like, that's a cool idea. I was thinking about inviting Fergus's friend Amber to basically be monster runner for like one session or whatever, just to like, you know, just change things, take a little pressure off of me too. But what show are you going tonight, Ferg?
It's Sam's Planet show. It's a
nice.
dry look and the Tractor Kings, but it's at the Brass
Flyer.
Which
it's at the where?
At the Brass Rail.
Oh, okay.
So, which I've never been there for a show before, but that should make it fun because it's like small.
Yeah, I didn't know that they did shows at the Brass Rail.
I guess they started doing it. Like they had done like a handful, but they just started kind of trying to like get into it, which is cool. So it would be a cool place to go see bands just because it's very unassuming and low key.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That should be fun.
Yeah, that sounds good. I really wish I could see Sam's bands play. Do you know if they're doing anything over like the holiday week?
I'm not sure.
I can look. I mean, I can look myself online, but yeah, I've been wanting to catch them at some point. If I was in town, you know.
Yeah, dude, that's sweet that you're coming into town.
Mm-hmm. How long are you gonna be in Vancouver for?
From I think we're leaving Christmas Eve, and then we come back like the 31st.
Oh, okay.
31st to the 1st.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
just like
we'll have to hang out either like the day I get in or the day after, I think. It sounds like.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
yeah, so we'll only be here for a couple days. But
still good to overlap.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been kind of, I don't know. Yeah. Haven't figured out exactly what or when I'm gonna move back out west, but be sometime before too long. Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I'd love it if you came back out here, but obviously, like, take your time, dude.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you've got shit in Champagne that still needs some settling. So
Yeah. I guess so. But then again, I've also felt like I've done my time in Champagne.
done your time, yeah.
It's
How's
just,
the bike going?
oh yeah, I'm still in the process of like tearing it down, but I guess I'm just gonna try and take it like down to the frame, repaint the frame, and just like go totally up from the frame up. So
Build it back.
should be,
Put it all together.
yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
I might try and make some like custom parts and do some like customizing to it. I guess just might as well, you know.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. So yeah, I'm still kind of breaking it down, but I'm only able to really go out there, out to the farm. But the shop has really come along out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of like cool tools and just built up like the wall that was that big garage door is now, you know, smaller garage door with windows and a little entryway door and stuff. Yeah, so it's becoming like from just like a haunted, you know, garbage dump into like potentially a good like little workshop. So
nice. This is like the smaller garage that used to have like all the weird like racist statues in it.
Yeah, not the one that's by the gas tank, but the one that's still connected to the driveway.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah.
Well, to be fair, yeah.
Cool. That sounds like
The
that sounds a lot
lawn
better.
jockeys are up in the other shed now.
Okay.
Hey guys. Oh shit. Give me a last hurrah here on one last action. Describe to me, give me an outgo for this adventure tonight here. Just tell me a little something somebody's thinking, like give me your where do we leave your character here, you know? What's the cliffhanger?
I'm gonna be charging up my my what's it called?
Give me a little role playing juice here, guys. Give me a little acting. Is what I'm saying.
I'm gonna say, may the great blessed Lord have pity on your souls, and then I'm gonna shoot a dazzle burst back at the a blinding dazzle burst behind me. As I'm trying to hang on, I might not be doing too well.
Eilig, give us a takeaway line here.
But that was a lot of fun. Would have been more fun if we stayed, but then we might have ended up dead.
All right, I'm gonna take off, guys. I'm gonna clean up here and stuff. And thanks for gaming with me, and hopefully I'll see you again soon. See you again soon in the game sphere.
Peace, dude. That was
later.
Yeah, thanks for